So, before we get on to the speeches, I'd just like to say it's really, really nice for so many of Tom's friends to indulge in one of his passions and all come in fancy dress. For those of you taxpayers who are wondering where your money's going, this is actually their second outfit change of the day. Talking of outfits, Tom's told me that Matthew likes a lot of cycling, and obviously the fitness has paid off because he's managed to fit into his slim fit suit. The same can't be said for Brian, Tom's father, who had to make an emergency call out to a tailor yesterday afternoon. Anyway, sorry, Brian. Over to the father of the bride, Matthew.
Okay, well, hello everyone. I hope to get around and meet some more of you that I haven't met so far today. And it is fantastic to see so many of Hattie's and Tom's friends and family here today. I mean, it really is great to see, and to see what fun everyone's been having. I did a bit of research on what the father of the bride's speech was meant to include, and the first responsibility is to welcome the guests. And I had a bit of a think about that, and I think obviously that comes from the thing the celebrant was sort of mentioning earlier about the father of the bride being the person who was doing the handover and putting on the show and everything else. So that's well, luckily that hasn't been the case for this event. It's been very much a team affair, and the welcome to you all is very much extended from Kate, Brian, Sally, and myself, who are all, if you think about it, equally responsible for Tom and Hattie being here. So that seems appropriate. I was thinking about that whole piece about the sort of the going back in time and thinking about weddings and the father handing over the bride to the groom, and obviously with that came often a dowry. That's maybe I don't know some livestock or a large piece of furniture, even some cash, heaven forbid. But bad news, Tom, I'm all out of sheep. You're on your own, buddy. If I think then about the idea of handing over a dowry to Hattie, anyway, I mean, just totally unnecessary. Hattie is an absolute treasure, just like her mum and her two sisters. She's got fantastic qualities that Tom's already learned a lot about. She's beautiful, as we've all seen today. She's incredibly smart. Somebody to get the academic results she has been doing absolutely no work at all. Quite smart. She's very kind and generous with her friends. I see that, and Sally and I see that all the time. And she's got a fantastic sense of humour. Many of you will be familiar with the sort of witch-like cackle that comes from Hattie when she finds something funny. Those of you who haven't heard it yet, you believe me, you soon will. But she's also incredibly organised and diligent about things, and a lot of today, in terms of the preparation for today and making today happen, is down to Hattie and a whole bunch of spreadsheets. So well done to Hattie for that. And again, just going back to that historical context, of course, in times gone by, the last thing the father of the bride would have done is tell the groom about any shortcomings with his daughter, because he wanted to get rid, right? So he'd be just keeping stum about all that. But we're in modern times now. And I mean, a couple of things that Tom will already be, becoming familiar with. Hattie can be a bit messy. I was reminded of that only this morning when I went into her old bedroom where she was staying last night, because my suit was hanging in there. and literally had to fight the door open from just the detritus that was all over the floor. That room's been quite tidy for a number of years now, but it didn't take long to sort that out. And I remember when she was growing up, Sally and I would almost be pushing each other into Hattie's bedroom to be the one who had to go and do a bit of tidying up or something. And dreading the fact that you'd have to pull back, in order to change the bed sheets, you'd have to pull back the duvet, and what might we find? I'm going to not Tom. But over the years, toast with marmalade on, cereal, hummus pots, yogurt pots, pretty much every type of food stuff you can imagine, and all the crockery you need to eat that from, the plates, the side plates. I'm not joking, this stuff is in the bed. Mugs, all sorts of, with easily enough, food and crockery and cutlery to serve a nice, pretty good meal for three. Not the sort of thing we've had today. We could easily have done. So there is that. So Tom's going to have to get used to that bit of messiness that comes with Hattie. Just as he's going to have to get used to that little bit of angstiness that can come when things aren't quite going right, or heaven forbid, if you haven't heard something Hattie said and have to ask her to repeat it. Tom may be leaving the army next year, but I do hope they let him keep his tin hat, because he's going to need it from time to time. And then, of course, the other thing is that Hattie has incredibly itchy feet. She cannot sit still for 5 minutes. While Tom was away a lot over the last year or so, Sal pretty much got used to every morning in the school holidays or weekends, there'd be a text come through about 7:15 asking 2 questions. What are you doing today? Would you like a visitor? So Sal's plans for the day would go out of the window as she helped Hattie along. So, there's a few qualities that Tom's going to have to learn to accommodate. Just as, Tom has a few qualities that Hattie's going to have to learn to live with. Like the fact that he cannot see those day-to-day jobs that need doing, be it the washing up or clearing the table or hoovering or anything else. These things are invisible to Tom, so Hattie's going to have to keep an eye out for that. Also, of course, that he loves nothing more than winding people up. We've been sat on this table just now, and twice in the last half an hour, Tom has deliberately wound Hattie up with and some of you may have noticed the incidents with the ring earlier where Tom was saying that he couldn't get the ring on his finger. I'm pretty sure he was just making that up. To annoy Hattie. So he does that. And in fact, we had a lovely dinner with Kate and Brian a few nights ago, and an old family story of Tom putting alarm clocks in his sisters and parents' bedroom to go off in the early hours of the morning.
They've made it here.
Yeah. Well, that was my fun time. And not any old alarm clocks. They were Islamic alarm clocks that woke you up with a call to prayer. That's pretty impressive at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Through my bedroom.
So, as Tom says, I understand that at least one of those alarm clocks has made it here, so you all want to be checking your bags before you leave this evening. I hope you haven't got it with you. So there is that, of course. There's also Tom's sort of obsession, really, with Christmas, and especially the cheesy side of Christmas. And I think in the immortal words of Roy Wood, Tom really does wish it could be Christmas every day. And I know that Christmas started for them on the 29th of October this year, because we had a message from Hattie saying it started, Tom's playing Mariah Carey. So again, but it's a good job. Hattie loves it. So that's good stuff. But again, just to even things up, the flip side of all that is Tom's just a great guy. He is an absolute great guy. And the flip side of maybe not noticing some of the day-to-day stuff, he loves nothing more than a project. I mean, as they build their lives together, he will be getting stuff done. Normally with some flat pack or something, or something going on. He's a very generous and warm guy, as we've seen today, and some of you will have noticed that through the ceremony, and has a fantastic sense of humour, and he's just great fun to be with. So Hattie's got the pleasure of seeing those great strengths as well. And when Hattie was growing up, she was quite pretty obsessed with the Disney film Snow White, and she'd watch it on repeat on VHS. But she had a problem with there's two characters you'll remember. There's a huntsman and there's a handsome prince. And Hattie had a problem with that and used to conflate them into one character who was called the Huntsman Prince. Well, we think Hattie's found her Huntsman Prince. And just I find out most about the two of them, and obviously we're delighted to be welcoming Tom into our family, but equally I know Kate and Brian have asked me to mention how delighted they are as well that Hattie's joining their family. So we're all happy. So that's all. Another thing I have to do apparently is to give them a little bit of advice and be serious for a moment. And there were a couple of nice thoughts I thought in the readings we heard earlier. That whole thing about enduring relationships and the idea of old love and how great that is something that I think, if any, maybe one thing it's predicated on is the idea that you understand this idea of imperfections in people, which Louise talked about, just as we can celebrate and we can see the great strengths and endearing characteristics of our partner, then recognising and learning to accommodate the things that maybe we find a bit more challenging is something that we need to do, as well as moderating our own behaviours when we know it can be annoying. I think it's important just to say that we see that in Hattie and Tom already. We see them doing it. That interaction happens and they can have that conversation. I think that's really, really great. I think at the end of the day, it's just recognising that you're in the business of making your partner happy, and that they believe and believing that they know they're in the business of making you happy. And to do that, you just need a bit of love underneath that. And I think they've definitely got that, and we can all see that. Every time we spend time with them, we see that in the fun they have together and their ability to wind each other up, be angsty, and not kill each other at the same time. So I think this all bodes really well for that idea of old love. I have a final duty, which is to ask us all to raise our glasses to absent friends. Now, before we do that, just a thought for everyone. There are lots of wonderful people who aren't here with us today for reasons, and have a think about the fact that when you're sharing and having a great moment, when you're smiling about something or something makes you laugh, and the fact that those absent friends would be joining in that and contributing to that, and the positivity and the joy that they'd be bringing to that will actually bring them into the room with us, and they'll be part of that. So with that thought, perhaps we could all raise a glass to absent friends. Absent friends.